Now batting for the Reds, number 44, the shortstop, Ellie Cruz.
Here are your hosts, Ricky Logan and Roger Straz.
Welcome to the Red Hot Reds podcast. That's Ricky. I'm Roger. And oh boy, what is a week? How much is it? I mean, like, I can't even talk. Like last week, Ricky, we literally introduced the show with Taps. It's been 7 days. We literally went 6-1 this week. We are Red Hot Reds, just like Sir Boy's saying. It's unbelievable. This is the stuff that dreams are made of, where you're talking to your grandkids about that one or those last couple weeks of September that we're going into. Hopefully, the October playoffs. My goodness.
Playoffs?
I mean, maybe we'll see. I mean, the Mets are doing their darndest to help us. So I mean, and the Nationals, shout out to them. Thank you so much, Washington Nationals. I know they usually get our number. And Jacob Young, you are forgiven for robbing Will Benson a couple months back. You can rob as many home runs as you want from us, as long as you rob it from the Mets and keep them from beating, or at least beating the Nationals. So I mean, shout out to that guy and his outfield prowess. But it's not a national show; it's a Red show. And Ricky, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm all over the place. How are you doing?
Just a whole lot better than I was last week. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but I lost like 18 pounds over the last 6 days just being sick. Yeah, Reds win. That's good. Makes you feel better. Playoffs. If it ended today, we'd be in, owning the tiebreaker over the Mets. So, man, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because the Reds played the Mets kind of recently in the last couple of weeks, and they won that last game to win the series, and it's going to probably be a big factor down the stretch. At least when, I mean, I thought like the Giants had kind of faded, and the Diamondbacks kind of have faded a little bit. I thought they would be right there as well. So if it's just us and the Mets this last 6 games. Goodness. I mean, I think I like our chances. The matchups that are coming up for not only the Mets, but also the Padres. The Padres are playing against the Brewers. So and then the Mets are going to Chicago to play the Cubs. So hopefully the Cubs can get some wins for us.
Cheering for the Cubs. Cheering for the Cubs.
It's weird to flip that script after sweeping them for 4 games to be like
flying the W over here.
Oh, Cubs go, like all that good stuff. So it's like, hey, you know what? That's baseball, right? Like scoreboard watching is going to be in full effect. No doubt about it. Like tomorrow is Padres Brewers. So might as well tune into that, see how the Padres are doing because,
Padres.
Yeah, why not? Those Brewers. I mean, I'm kind of really hoping by the time we get to going to Milwaukee, the last 3 games of the series, that Milwaukee is just like, whatever. We've got 97
just need one.
wins.
Hopefully you just need one.
Hopefully we just, we can win that series without them even trying. Like, just have them just like, okay, we're good. We're just going to rest up for the playoffs because we got the number 1 seed, 97 wins or whatever they got. And then, they're just going to like rest their starters so that they have them ready and rested for the first round. Well, they get a bye, right? If they're there. So they're going to get rest anyway. But I don't know, man. I really hope that it's a nothing series in terms of like, we don't have to win all 3 or have to win 2. Or, like I said, it's all over the place, man. Because like I really thought that they were dead a week ago, getting swept by the A's, and to turn around 7 days later and basically just be like, no, the Reds aren't dead until they're officially eliminated. I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, I mean, we literally played taps for like a solid minute last Sunday. I mean, it was borderline funeral. I mean, it that was the lowest I felt all year. And that's coming from the month of April where we lost 3 straight 1-0 games. Mm-hmm. We, had like no hits. Matt McLean was like non-existent, and then he got hurt. He was on the IL. And we felt like, here we go again, and CES wasn't doing anything. It was just Ellie. It was all we had was Ellie, and then here we are in September, and Ellie hasn't done anything except for the last couple games, and then it seems like everybody else finally is like, hey, let's we play baseball. Let's do something, and it's awesome. I texted Greg Kuffner at Daily 4 earlier. I said, are we doing this? Are we gonna go? Are we getting hot at the right time? It kind of feels like Arizona in 2023, where they kind of just got hot going into the playoffs, and it carried them into the World Series.
Yeah, and very much so. The 84 wins could do the trick. We're at 80 right now. Four out of the last
Fangraphs.
Yeah, I say 4 out of the last 6. I think gets it done. Going 4-2 this week. We do have Skeens coming up, unfortunately, on Wednesday. Skeens versus Green, which is like, basically, Ricky, the playoffs start now. I mean, it probably started, on right after the A series against Cardinals, where like must win, 2 out of 3, or like 4-game sweep. We'll take that as well. But the Reds playoffs are starting now. Like every game is a must win, because if you don't, you're probably flirting with the possibility of being knocked out of the playoff chase. Because I don't know. I guess the Mets could play worse. They've shown it. They've gone some stretches where they've gone like 1-9 in the last 10 games, and just kind of like bottomed out after the, I think, All-Star break. They did pretty poorly. Their whole second half has been pretty poor, but like I don't get it at all. Like this team won't die. Like obviously we've got some individuals to highlight, but like I'm shout out William. Can't forget about William Buchanan Benson. I mean, this guy was literally like an afterthought in Tito's basically lineup.
He knew what he was doing. He knew that Benson would come in hot, save the season at the end of the year. Like, what better card do you pull than to get your most clutch player all season? Where you've had, he saved the season when we played Cleveland, and he goes out and wins player of the week, and he sits, and he goes back and he could have probably won player of the week again. It's perfect timing. He knew if he brought him in the last week and a half of the season's back.
I guess, yeah. The grand master plan of Tito Francona.
It's the Tito circle.
Yeah, to sit you had that stat that Will Benson had consecutive games of home runs from what?
He had a home run in back-to-back starts, and it was August 1st and September 6th.
Like, what were we doing then? Why can't Benson get some at bats then or starts then? Like, I don't know. This is maddening, because it feels like I don't know. Obviously, a lot of people have also been going at Tito for his decision making throughout the whole season, not just the last couple weeks. But it feels weird that, like, okay, Ellie's been batting third. He's stubborn about him staying in that same spot because he's the number 3 hitter. He doesn't like change. He even admits it. He's got that all shucks. I just got stubborn and didn't want to change him out. And the time that he like shifts him down to 6th in the lineup, which I think was the Cardinals series, boom. Now we're back. Like now we got guys that are getting more at bats, like Stewart, like Marte, like Spencer Steer, are getting the extra at bats by being higher in the lineup. Okay, now it works. Like I guess old dogs can learn new tricks with Tito, but like, come on, man. Like, what if we did this in the middle of August? Maybe we wouldn't be so. But I guess again, maybe there's no pleasure without pain. Like we gotta suffer through the baseball, and through that month of August. That was very, very poor baseball. Went 12 and 15 in August, and Ellie didn't hit a home run, and now all of a sudden switch up the lineup a little bit, bring up a guy named Sal Stewart, and now you're a playoff team. Okay. Great. I guess we'll have to just take it because you can't change the past. But gosh, I feel like we could have like avoided all this heartache of thinking like, oh, after we basically knocked out of the playoffs by the A's, that okay, now we're gonna start playing some guys in different positions and stuff like that. And now it's all magically coming together. It's all bleeding coming together. It's just unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, shout out Nick Martinez for coming in relief and throwing 2 1/3 hitless innings and a strikeout. Perfect. You know, you can't ask for anything better than that. Your $21 million man coming in. Like Abbott was great. You know, he had 5 hits and walk, but you know, you can call in Martinez. That's like the perfect role for him, is just being that come in relief and, you know, throw a couple innings, you know, 2 1/3, and then you have Ashcraft come in, shut the door down. Santillan looked a little shaky. I got a little nervous. I think I texted you. I said nail biter, but you know, he got the 2 walks and he got the final out. So that was huge.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just, I just can't believe how sweep it is. A 4-game series that you had to have. I think you'd feel okay with winning 3 out of 4 against a Cubs team who's already in the playoffs, but taking 4 out of 4 just makes you feel like anything's possible. Like Hunter Green setting the tone right off there. Christian Hunter Green setting the tone Thursday night, Fox, with that weird camera angle, which I have no idea why Fox did that. It's just weird. I think there was like an advertisement on the board for like MLB Network. And it's almost like they changed the camera so they can have that shoehorned in there. But anyway, that's besides the point. He goes and goes the distance. Unfortunately, which I have a real small quick question. If Ke'Bryan Hayes was at third, do you think he gets that hit down the line from, what was it, Seiya Suzuki?
I don't know. That was a pretty good hit ball. I mean, that was like right on the line. Hey, knowing Ke'Bryan Hayes, he probably cheats a little bit and gets on that corner. So maybe. But, I mean, it would have been our luck that he would have did it and he would have just beat it out or something. So I feel like it was kind of fate. I do think a bold prediction. I do think Hunter Green has a no-hitter in his tenure for the Reds coming up.
Oh, it's not that bold. You mean this season? Or
no, not this season. Not this season.
We'll take it in the playoffs.
Next season, I think he'll have a no-hitter.
Yeah, gosh, just missing him for 2 months. Also, you know.
Yeah, and like the fact that he came back this strong after missing that time, because like last year he did look a little shaky coming back when he came back from his elbow injury. Like this year, he looks like he's just picked up right where he left off, and you know, he's probably flirting with the 20-win season. Should he be, you know, pitching a whole season? You lose 1-0 games with him on the mound. You know, you get the offense better. I think he's going to be up there in wins next year. Also, yeah,
health kind of the big thing for him. But on Thursday night, it was all him the whole time, and they even like broke down like the pitches by inning. He didn't like have an inning that was more than like 12 to 13 pitches. I want to say that was the high end of it. Like there was like 9s and maybe like a couple 10s or 11. Like it was just efficient pitching the whole game, which, you know, with Hunter Green, you don't necessarily always get that because he's such an overpowering pitcher. Guys are always fouling stuff off, or he's maybe not locating his, you know, off speed stuff all the time. So like for him to put it all together at the right time at this point in this stretch is beautiful. And Wednesday is going to be fireworks with him going to go up against Skeens. Hopefully our bats are going to be ready to go and just destroy, because I think Skeens even had one of his worst outings recently where he only made like 3 or 4 innings or whatnot recently. But anyway, that's besides the point. We'll get there when we get there. But Thursday night, special for the Reds. Like William Rice saying, he definitely set the tone, and then followed up by a guy who I think we definitely again say that we won the India Singer trade, like by far.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's becoming more and more apparent that Singer was the guy that needed to be the innings eater, the first guy since 2021 to get 30 starts for the Reds. Can you believe that?
Gee, I did not know that.
Do you know the guys that did? There was 2 guys that did it in 2021 for the Reds.
21. That would have been Sonny Gray.
No. Nope, not Sonny Gray.
No, I don't know.
Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle. Both of those guys.
I was going to say Castillo second, but yeah, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know Tyler Mahle threw that many innings.
Yeah. Well, it's 30 starts, so I don't. The innings were up there. I think in 2021 they both probably got over 150 innings at least, or at least 180, I would guess, because both of those guys were pretty big workhorses, as well as Sonny Gray. But I don't think Sonny Gray got to 30 starts, I don't think, in 2021. But anyway, the point being is that that's kind of crazy. we're going back and like throwing those stats out like, oh, we haven't done this since 2021. We haven't done this since 2019. It's good to finally like not have to have that stretch. Hopefully we'll be ending the playoff win streak as well. So we don't have to say, oh, since 1995. You know what I mean? So that's exactly, I think, the mindset of this ball club, and they're just looking to go out there and just I mean, I think Cowboys said on the radio that these guys are like cockroaches. They just won't die.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's what you dream about as a fan. You know, you want to see this team, you know, we invest so much time in mentally, not just physically also. You know, we haven't won a playoff game since game 2 of the NLDS against the Giants, right?
2012, yeah.
It's been a
That's
minute.
crazy.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
That is crazy. That's crazy. And yeah, you were saying it's been kind of an up and down season, also emotionally in terms of like expectations. Like I was texting you a couple weeks ago saying like, hey, if they win 83, you know what I mean, or 82 and make it a winning season, does it feel like a success? I mean, if they
Now it does. I think.
Yeah, I would say now if they win 82, now it feels like it's not a success because they're already at 80, right? Obviously, you know, this week, you know, getting those 6 crucial wins has really put them on a track where 84 is very attainable. Will it be enough? I guess we're going to find out. But like 84 generally is right there for that last wild card spot. You mentioned the 23 Diamondbacks. They won 84 games. They went to the World Series. So it's not about necessarily you have to win 116 games like the 2001 Seattle Mariners to go to the World Series. And that team didn't go to the World Series. You just got to get hot at the right time. Baseball is a funny sport. I mean, Fred said earlier, you can't perfect baseball. It's an imperfect game. It's a random game where the ball could bounce anywhere. You know, mistakes could happen. Weird things can happen. Bartman can happen. You know what I mean? All that's Alex S. Gonzalez can boot the ball at short. A lot of things can happen that are crazy in baseball. I mean, Aaron Judge last year dropped the ball in center field. It's just a weird game, and you just have to ride it out as best you can. And I mean, it's teaching me a lesson in patience and writing it out because I was done with them. I was done with them after the Speedway series. It really took a hit because how depressing they played against the Braves, a Braves team that's not even going to win 80 games this year. This Braves, they got 72 and 86 losses. Like they're a bad baseball team by their standards, obviously. But like it's crazy that you know in mid-August they were not playing great baseball, and I mean the whole month of August, I should say, they weren't playing great baseball. They came out this month kind of playing 500 ball. Boom, let's catch fire. Let's ride that wave because heck, the Guardians are doing it. Why not us?
Why not us? Put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Or no, the other phrase is sneak on in. That's what everybody's been.
There we go. There we go.
Joey Votto.
Sneak on in.
Classic sneak on in because why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like Joey Votto said it. You know, we definitely are big pro Joey Votto fans here, and you know, happy belated. We celebrated his birthday. We had a show then.
We had a show on his birthday. We had his segment. He deserved it. He needed his own. It was a good way to end the show too, just because. Was that Sunday?
No, his birthday was like a Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. That's what it was. Yeah. Happy again, belated birthday, Joey Votto.
Sneak on in. Let's do it.
Sneak on in.
You got any other thoughts about this Cubs series? Because it was kind of crazy. Like we actually hit home runs. Yeah, fly the flag, fly the L flag, and we're basically just trying to figure out like why can we play like this? I don't know. That's not
Where was this at in April?
Yeah, or just kind of like I don't know, like it just mid-August. Let's just not like have a losing month. But you know, I guess we have to shout out a little bit to Tito for keeping these guys kind of still motivated all the way through the end of this season because he could have lost some guys. He could have, it lost some faith in some of those guys. And like Will Benson, shout out to him, to be honest with you, for kind of being on the sideline this whole time. And when his name got called and he got in that lineup, he stepped up again for this team. Not you mentioned the Cleveland Guardians series, like he stepped up then. He did it again, even though that he had not been playing a lot. So shout out to him. It's great to see William Benson play baseball again. hopefully he'll be the key to making sure that we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a nice spark plug to have coming off the bench. I mean, yeah, you want him as a starter, but if you can have that guy coming in 2 games, 3 games a week and just be who he is, it's infectious. It's just he's a likable guy, and it's always nice to see him playing well also.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, he's got an electric smile as well when he's feeling it. And I think Ellie was interviewed at a press game about like after his home run and breaking his home run streak on Friday night. Like all the guys were happy for him, and I think that's the same thing. Like it goes for all the guys. If someone's doing well in the clubhouse, they rally around it. It's that David Bell talked about like culture and making sure that that guys were like supporting each other, stuff like that. Good locker room guys or whatever the thought was. Right? They still those guys are still in that locker room, and they've added some World Series veterans in Trevino and Lux, and those guys hopefully will be at least. Hopefully they'll provide some insight or some perspective to these guys that are going to be potentially on the verge of going to the playoffs for the first time ever, when those guys have been there, done that. So shout out to those guys. Hopefully we can hear some Charlie G reporting about, them potentially getting in the ear of some of these younger guys that have never had a playoff appearance before. And, anything can happen when we get those playoffs, man, especially if you got a good pitching staff, right? Like that's the thing that I think that this season, like, shout out to Clay Snowden. He called it out about 5 months ago, saying that we had a playoff caliber rotation. Well, it's still true today. Like it's still playoff caliber rotation as far as I can see. A lot of teams would kill to have Hunter Green, Abbott, a healthy Lodolo. I mean,
a lot of guys would kill to have Nick Martinez in the rotation, and we got him coming out of the bullpen.
And he's going to be huge for like a playoffs because obviously the if we get to the playoffs. I feel like I'm already talking like
when we get to the playoffs.
Yeah. If not,
gotta believe.
Yeah, but like it just feels like okay, we got a guy that if it does get rough, the stakes get ratcheted up. There may be situations where guys are not going to be going 6, 7, 8 innings. They might be getting pulled like Abbott got pulled today in the 5th inning, and then you got a guy who's got that ability to bridge to the bullpen. You'd love to have that, or even just if somebody's sick or injured, he can just throw Martinez in there in a pinch and be able to maybe open the game. Hopefully, we're not going to see Brent Suter anymore. But anyway, that'll be we'll have to figure that out if it ever comes to that. But like, I mean, yeah, just get in, sneak on in. That's all we got to do. No matter what, whatever happens, when you get in, you have a chance. That's all we need.
Couldn't say anything any better myself.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. Shout out to Fred. He's talking about the managers here. 90% of it is to manage the human part of the game, which is crazy because we all talk about how analytics is kind of like seeping into everything and making it all robotic. But these guys are still human, right? At the end of the day, they have emotions. They're maybe nervous or they're not seeing things a certain way. And a guy who has a wealth of knowledge like Tito Francona can maybe step in and talk to these players or, put a shoulder around them if they need it or kick him in the butt if that's what they need as well. So like, yes, this is why we got Tito Francona, is for these moments where hopefully, it's the most ratcheted up pressure, but he'll be able to somehow either calm them down, get them to focus, or be able to give them the insight they need to go forward and be successful. It's good that we have a guy that's been there, done that as well in the manager's role, because it may come up huge when we really need it.
Yeah, and I don't know how this final stretch of baseball would pan out should David Bell still be here. I mean, maybe it still pans out the same if you have the same players. I don't know, but like Fred just said in the chat, Tito made the right call with Abbott today. I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like Tito just has a good feel for the starters. I had a stat that I wrote about for RedsTalk.com that the Reds lead MLB in shutouts this season. They have 3, and the last time they had 3 in a season was in 2014. And then the last time they had one in a season was 2021, and they had two. They had, well, technically one because one was a no-hitter, but they had Anthony DeSclafani was the last Red to throw a complete game shutout prior to this season. And then Wade Miley threw a no-hitter that same season earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, they threw 4. So it's been a long stretch of pitching that hasn't really been great. And we've had some really good pitchers over the last, 7-8 years or so with Luis Castillo and Johnny Cueto and Homer Bailey to a degree. Obviously, he threw his no-hitters, and he was a really highly talented prospect coming up. But, when you get pitchers like Luis Castillo who come in and actually pitch to their ballpark and they get ground balls and strikeouts, and then you get Trevor Bauer, who obviously is the only Cy Young Award winner for the team's history. And then you get other guys that complement that style where you have Sonny Gray and Tyler Mahle and Anthony DeSclafani. And then you keep building on that, and you get Hunter Green and Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, Nick Martinez, and all these guys that just continue to play to their ballpark. It's just nice to finally see good pitching in this ballpark. It's just, you remember when I don't know if you followed the Reds back then, but we go out and we get a guy like Eric Milton, who was a fly ball pitcher back in the day. It's like, why would you go sign a fly ball pitcher for Great American Ballpark? It made no sense.
No.
But, because I know we're going to talk about Hunter Green here in a second, but his last 3 starts, he's allowed 6 hits, and he got shelled by the Athletics.
one bad start. Oh my goodness!
He had 4 hits against the Athletics, and he had 7 innings, 1 hit against the Mets, 9 innings, 1 hit against the Cubs. Like, he's just been otherworldly. He's been the best contract in baseball, in my opinion. I think you can't get a frontline starter on that contract. Like, that's never going to happen again.
Yeah, a little caveat though: the $2 million Ohtani deal is technically a little bit better because it's all deferred.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cheating, man. Anyway,
I don't know how we don't pull something off like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe then Bob sells the team right before he has to make the first payment to Ellie and his deferred contract.
Like, why don't you just tell Ellie, hey, we're going to give you $500 million, but we're going to pay you $200 while you're playing.
Yeah.
We'll give him the Mets contract. Who's that guy?
Soto?
No, the one that had
the
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla Day. Have an Ellie De La Cruz Day in Cincinnati,
The Reds have done it. They did it with
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. He just his last
Bronson
year.
Arroyo had it for, I think, 2. He had deferred money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So they could do it. I just, you give them a bunch up front, and then you say, hey, we'll pay you after you're done playing. And they just, then you'll own part of the team, and you'll be the mayor of the city, and you'll have your own statue out front and everything else.
Yep, right next to Marty. But yeah,
right next to Marty.
Sliding
on his desk.
Shout out to Fred because he's a big Abbott stan, and he said he made the right call about Abbott. Earlier in the season, he put Abbott back out there. Was against the Guardians, and he got that complete game shutout and put him back out there in the 9th, even though he had kind of a rough 7th, 8th inning kind of situation. So, like, maybe Tito's got a good pulse of this team right now. Maybe we can really start to think that all the things he's doing are going to hopefully line up to be the right decision ultimately. So, shout out to Tito for making the right call today and hopefully going forward. And then, talk about fly ball pitcher. It kind of makes you the Milton comment kind of makes me think of why we got this Littell, as Fred's pointing out. Like, he was leading, I think, the majors in home runs.
Yeah.
And all that. So, like, I don't think they're going to bring him back. I think he's unrestricted free agent next year or has an option. I can't remember exactly, but I don't think we're going to see. Thank you for your service, Dr. Tell. Hopefully we get 1 or 2 more good starts out of you. I think he's going game 1 of potentially the Brewers series.
Yes.
So, fingers crossed.
Friday, I think.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, man. Hopefully when we're getting to that point again, we don't have to worry as much as, like, we have to sweep the Brewers just to get in the playoffs. But before all that, let's celebrate our guy, like you said, Mr. Best Contract in baseball. A guy that, like I said, that if he gets hurt the rest of the time, his time in Cincinnati will still be a better contract than a lot of others. Because you see guys like, what's that New York Yankee guy that's been injured since he basically got there? Former
Stanton?
Pirate, Garrett Cole. Like his
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
contract's crazy. But anyway, Christian Hunter Green is basically I don't know how to describe it. He's the man. Like he's the ace that we need in this time, right? Like you talk about a Batman quote. He's maybe not the hero that we need, or he's not the hero that we want. He's the hero we need. Christian Hunter Green is both the hero we want and the hero we need at this time, and hopefully we can ride that out with another masterful performance because he's going up against Paul Skeens on Wednesday. So let's make sure basically that we're ready to go, ready to rock. We're gonna try to have a show on Wednesday, so hopefully you can join us for that. We may go live and talk about the game, depending how the game's going. But hopefully at that point it'll be like a masterful pitching performance that we win 1-0 like we did against whatever the Cubs pitcher was on Thursday night with Hunter. So, I mean, I don't know. We talk about Hunter a lot because he's not just also a great baseball player, but he's also pretty like huge in the community, huge with just like being a kids captain for Reds Heads, like a bunch of years, a guy that will go out there and be the face of the franchise, other than Ellie De La Cruz. So like basically, he's a guy that the Reds want to lock up for long term, and they do have him long term, and hopefully we'll be able to win one when he's here.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you can't ask for a better human than Christian Hunter Green. He is just, lives by his name, I would say. He's just a great guy. Loves his dog. He seems like, when you have your dog on a bobblehead, that just tells you the kind of person you are. He's just a great guy. I'm looking at some numbers on him this year. You want to know what his home splits are? He is 5-1 at home with a 1.44 ERA.
And he's not like a ground ball pitcher, so that's
he's unbelievable. To be fair, on the road he's got a 4.81 ERA, but I think just some of the matchups that he's had on the road compared to being at home are a little different too.
Yeah,
but day and night games evenly split. His worst month this year was in June. He had a 3.60 ERA. Granted, there was only one start, but man, he's just everything you could ask for. I mean, honestly, like as much as we hype up Ellie and talk about Ellie and contract this, contract that,
yeah,
I'm almost saying, hey, just go ahead and pay the second extension. Go ahead and get him. I want this guy the rest of his career here. Like he's that guy.
I don't know if the Reds will be able to afford him, but that'd be awesome. Especially because I don't know how Hunter personally feels about his own contract. I think he probably likes the, guaranteed money that he's got right now and whatnot. But like, I'm thinking like seeing how baseball contracts are as they are for pitchers, just mentioned Garrett Cole and whatnot. I bet he's like, man, I am worth what Garrett Cole's getting paid because I'm pitching just right now, even though he's had an injured season, this year. But I don't know. I guess do they give like bonuses? Does he have like bonuses in his contract and whatnot? Maybe he'll be able to.
He's got Cy Young incentives. I know that. There are other things. I'm not sure about any other incentives. You know what else is crazy is his left versus right splits.
Really?
Yeah. So left-handed batters are batting 176, and right-handed batters are batting 202.
Okay.
Like, guys just aren't hitting Hunter Green this year, and when they do, unfortunately, they are usually home runs. But he's done a lot better this year too at limiting the home ball. I think that was a theme earlier in his career. It is kind of nice seeing the maturation of him this year, because if you look at his numbers over his last season, you go to his last 30 starts, right? He's 7-4, 2.74 ERA. That's 18 starts, 101 innings. He's got 70 hits allowed and 125 strikeouts, 24 walks. That's a .92 whip. I mean, if you have an offense that scores some runs, you probably have, 12, 13 wins instead of 7. I'm speechless just to how good he is, Like, you just can't ask for a better pitcher than Hunter Green.
Yeah. Fred is right. Littell has the same agent as Hunter, CAA Sports. But with all these pitchers that William Wright's putting out here that we've obviously not even mentioned as well, like Rhett Lauder, unfortunately, was scratched from his rehab start recently. I think I saw you report that. Brandon Williamson and Aguiar, who have like UCL, they had Tommy John. They've been out all of 2025. Supposed to be back next year, but like Chase Burns potentially going into the rotation now that, or into 2026, but will be a bullpen guy now. Like, yeah, Littell might be gone because there might not be any room for him here, or at least, I don't know. There's always that adage that you can't have enough pitching. So maybe if he gets a nice little 1, 2, 3-year deal, maybe on a decent amount. But like I said, starting pitching is it's a premium gig. So if there's somebody that sees Littell and maybe thinks that they have like a Petco or I don't know, Atlanta's got a pretty big, outfield. So like maybe, his fly ball propensity pitches up in the zone, maybe that will work better there and they can get him on a deal or whatnot. But, I don't know that the fact that Hunter Green is on the deal that he is on makes them, it's kind of like the Joe Burrow window, right? Like as long as Hunter Green is in your rotation, you got a pretty good chance you're going to have a guy that's going to have Cy Young stuff and a chance that's going to go out there and compete and win every day. And like you said, his maturity and his ability to locate pitches in the zone now has like gotten better year on year. And that's what you want. You want guys taking steps forward. And you can definitely see, even though this was a shorter season with the injuries, he's still taking steps forward in 2025, even though he took like major steps forward in 2024, man, and basically made the Reds at least a little bit competitive, or at least a draw to go and watch him pitch every 5 days. So shout out to Hunter in that. So he's 26. He's not technically at his baseball peak yet. So he's still got a lot more to learn, a lot more to grow. Next year, I don't know, maybe 2026, after we get a little bit of a taste of the playoffs this year, 2026 will be full on. Maybe the Brewers will finally have their voodoo magic evaporate, and maybe the Cubs will have some injuries or whatever, and then maybe it'll be our division to lose in 2026.
Yeah, you feel a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to get too much in the next year, but you feel a little bit more confident going in the next year, just based off of how everything's kind of played out offensively. Like McLean's had a better part of his second half than he's had the majority of this season. Noelvi Marte is your right fielder going forward. I think that's just set in stone now. I think him in right field is just what it is. TJ, I don't know about TJ Friedel. I think he's probably going to fight Hector at some point next year. And I think Austin Hayes is probably moving on. I don't think they're going to mutually agree. So I think that's going to be a good – I think Lux is arbitration, right? Because he could come back next year. I think, right?
I got to look up Lux now because he's been in the league a long time.
If not they might find a way to bring him back possibly. But it's going to be, I think, between in left field, you're probably going to see Benson a lot, and you're probably going to see why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Steer,
yeah. And I think Sal Stewart's your first baseman. Just what it is. I think he plays pretty well for never playing there, because Ke'Bryan Hayes isn't going anywhere unless they trade him. And I don't think they're going to trade him.
I think they really like him a lot.
I do too. And honestly, though, if he could have a solid offensive year next year, he could be a really, really good player just with his defense. And, you got some prospects. potentially coming up. CES, I don't think he's as bad as he is. I don't think he's going to be who we hope he is.
Yeah.
Like like everybody puts these expectations of 35, 40 home runs. I'm kind of letting those dreams die, I think. But I think eventually you're going to see Cam Collier. Probably not next year. If he has a Sal Stewart type year, maybe. But we also have some pitchers coming back next year too, like Rhett Lauder. We talked about Brandon Williamson, Julian Aguiar. It's just there's some guys.
Yeah.
Might have an Austin Hendricks sighting next year. Who knows? He's probably going to start the year Triple A if he comes back. So
we'll be the first to report it if that is the case.
We will go live the minute he.
Yeah, for sure. I just looked at the Lux contract. He does one more year arbitration. They probably will keep him since it's an arbitration. I don't know if they'll extend him, to be honest with you, because he's a bit time player. Like he's just he's been filling in wherever he can get in, either the outfield, the infield, or DH. I mean, shout out to him. Hopefully he can guide these young guys, at least this year or next year, to some playoff success. Mike also writes in All Gloves Off. Shout out to Mike as well. We're starting this venture with All Gloves Off Media with our new platform, and he's a part of it. He's got his show on Tuesday nights, so tune into that. I want to say it's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Mountain.
9 p.m. Well, once the time changes, he's in Arizona, so like it's 9 p.m. Eastern time until daylight savings, and then it'll be 8 p.m. until March, and then it'll be 9 p.m. again.
All right.
So just think traditional standard time, no time change in Arizona.
Yeah. So he says that the Brewers lost their number one start. Is that Peralta is the number one starter? It's injured.
I think so.
Remember. He's one of their better starters.
The thing is, though, they got so many good pitchers that they'll just a new pitcher becomes number one starter. So It's their voodoo magic, I tell you.
And they have a pretty good bullpen as well. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely a interesting. We're looking into the future now. Obviously, we're kind of projecting some stuff. I don't know what the future could hold because we thought that Cam Collier was on the Sal Stewart track. You know what I mean? His injury put him back, so it ends up being Sal Stewart's opportunity to seize. So we don't know exactly who's going to be able to do that. Hopefully, everyone stays as healthy as possible because, like you said, there are some exciting guys, even some outfielders. You know what I mean? Clay Stoden likes to say that we don't have any outfilders, but it's Brandon Woodruff. Okay, I forgot about him. Yeah, dang. Well, hey, maybe they need to rest all their starters coming up in the next couple of series. We'll see how that goes.
Give me Kyle Schwarber. If Kyle Schwarber, I don't want to put expectations on a guy, but if you put Kyle Schwarber on this team, he probably wins MVP because he's probably going to have 60 home runs, 195 RBIs. It'd be unreal.
And at the leadoff spot. Because that's what he does with the Phillies, right? Isn't he?
I would not have him second, maybe. I wouldn't have him batting leadoff. That's a weird thing. It works, but leadoff, that's crazy. Yeah. My
favorite Schwarber stat was like a couple seasons ago. He had 46 homers and 47 singles on the season. So that's my Schwarber. That's the type of guy I want. Just all launch angle stuff, baby.
Give me the home runs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a thing that Greg Kuffner was going around, putting a meme out there on his X account, said that singles and walks don't win ball games. So, like, Kyle Schwarber takes that pretty seriously. So, like,
hey, you say that until the bases are loaded, Game 7 of the World Series, and Joey Votto draws a walk to win the game in the World Series.
I thought you were going to say he's going to put up a bunt.
No. Did you see that quote from yesterday's game?
No.
Where Tyler Stevenson hit that home run, and Tito was in the press conference, and he goes,
"Oh, that one, yeah."
And he goes, "Hey, do you want me to bunt?" He goes, "No, I want you to put one 3 rows deep." He's like, "Sure enough, he hit one 3 rows deep. He's pretty coachable."
Yeah, I guess so. And it's just kind of crazy because
it makes you wonder: is it Tito behind the bunting, or is it Valaika?
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there. Fred's on the case, I think, for trying to figure out who's behind all this weird. We have to slap the ball, or even the Sal Stewart quote. Do you remember that one? That was
that was weird.
where he was like, actually, I wasn't trying to hit a home run. Home runs are actually accidental swings because you're trying to hit the ball level. It's like, what are you talking about?
To his point, like, he does have a very late, like, his thing was his whole career was that he was hitting only line drives his entire time. And I think he finally figured out how to miss hit.
Yeah, it's a miss hit. It's just, I get it. I understand. Like, baseball purists want level swing. You know what I mean? Pete Rose would probably say the same thing if he was still alive, that you don't swing for home runs. Yeah, sure. I get it. Fine. But you know what? We hit 5 home runs against the Cubs and we won the game handily. Let's just do that. Bold strategy, I say. But like, Great American Small Park is pretty small. It's not like we have, a Petco Park. We don't have a stinking, the Braves field out there, whatever it's called, Truist Field or whatever. Like, let's hit the wall. If it's there, you know what I mean? It's coming in 95 plus out of most guys' hands. You got a pretty good chance. And at the very least, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's exciting for the fans. Bunting, I think bunting's dead for the most part. Like, except for some situations when TJ Friedel's trying to get a jump on the defense. Like, other than that, I don't know, man. Let's hit the ball, man. Like, the Cubs hit like a bunch of home runs against us in that series on Memorial Day. I went to one of the games. It's depressing to see a bunch of other players round your bases. You know what's exciting? Sal Stewart rounding the bases and getting home and touching home and getting all the high fives and all that, and the money gun or whatever we got there. My wife said the other day, bring back the Viking helmet. She misses it too. So
yeah, my wife does too.
So maybe one day, maybe when Joey Votto comes back and maybe becomes an announcer for the team, maybe we'll bring the Viking helmet back in honor of him. But I don't know, man. I get it. I'm not trying to tell them how to do their jobs. Obviously, baseball is a very situational game anyway, where they're getting signs, and I also have a lot of research on what this pitcher throws when. So we're not always going to try to go for the long ball. And here's the thing. I guess maybe my frustration is the Reds had a calling card 2 seasons ago, and even a little bit last season, of having this kind of chaos ball where they would run a lot and make a lot of pressure on like the defense to react to their stealing. And I mean, this year, Ellie only has like 30 something steals. Last year he had 67 in his first full major league season. Like, I understand his quad injury is kind of holding him back. And I don't think he needs to be like stealing every chance he gets, but I don't see anybody really going out there. Like, Marte is the only guy that I feel like is pretty aggressive from what I could tell. Like, I'm like Friedel is a little bit kind of not as aggressive. And that definitely has to come from the manager, right? Like, that's not something that these guys are making their own decisions on their own to not steal as much. So if you're not going to steal, you're not going to put pressure on the pitcher to like be frustrated on like, oh, is he going to go? Is he not? And the catcher has to be ready. Then hit the dang ball out of the ballpark or in the gap. Like, let's do something to get
just
the
hit
ball.
it hard.
Yeah.
Just hit it hard.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, this pitching staff deserves a playoff chance, and because they pitched their butt off this whole year. This whole year, Angel Pagan has been great. Like, let's just wait. Is not Angel Pagan? Emilio Pagan. Shout out
Angel Pagan.
Yeah, Emilio Pagan.
Giants legend.
Yeah, Emilio Pagan's been great. So is Angel, but Angel hasn't been pitching well. But yeah, I just can't. I guess it'd be like the conversation I keep coming back to. It'll be frustrating if we win only like 82 games now, because this pitching staff has been great, and pitching's really hard to replicate year on year. Obviously, we've got young guys that are going to come in and bolster the rotation next year and whatnot. They're like, come on, do it for Hunter, do it for Brady, do it for Andrew Abbott, All-Star Abbott. Let's get in the playoffs. Let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
It is what it is. And I don't know. I kind of wanted to preview this upcoming series as well, because this is the last week of the season. I guess, you know what I mean? Like, this is the last chance we're going to get to really kind of preview it, unless, fingers crossed, this time next week we're going to be doing a playoff preview against the hated Los Angeles Dodgers, potentially. It could be the Padres. It could get crazy.
Things could happen. I mean, the Dodgers haven't locked it up, so.
No, I think they qualified for the playoffs, but they don't necessarily have their division locked up. And obviously, this week is going to be very telling to see what ends up happening with the Padres and Dodgers. But it could be the Padres, could be the Dodgers for the first round of the playoffs. What was it? They call it Wild Card Weekend. I don't know,
Yeah.
football. But this upcoming series against the hated Pittsburgh Pirates, who, obviously they've had their pirate of a season, but it's definitely a 2 out of 3 type of situation at the least. I feel a sweep would be awesome because, like we mentioned earlier in the show, the Cubs and the Mets are playing in Chicago, so that could potentially be a situation where if the Cubs take 2 out of 3 and we take 2 out of 3, that's at least, I think, that gains at least a game in the playoff standings for the 6th spot. And then, the pitching matchups, they're not great, obviously, with Skeens going. And then, they have a guy named Ashcraft as well in Pittsburgh.
He's a bum. Just kidding.
Well, I was saying, they steal our guy.
Yeah, they stole him.
On Tuesday, the last 3-2-1 Tuesday of the season, Oviedo versus Singer, our guy Brady Singer, the innings eater. And then Wednesday, you got Skeens and Green, which will be, they should probably put that on national TV.
Yeah, that should be put that on every major news network too. It just needs to be must watch TV, not just must watch baseball.
It is. This is what you go to the ballpark for, seeing these guys, And then a guy named Ashcraft for Pittsburgh versus Nick Lodolo. So that's the getaway game. 12:40 first pitch. I don't know. How do you see this Pittsburgh series going? Or any thoughts or anything about this upcoming must-win series?
I'm nervous just because it is how the Pirates have played us the last 4 years or so. But the Skeens and Green matchup reminds me of Roger Clemens versus Pedro Martinez back in the day. And it's Roger Clemens versus Martinez, Randy Johnson versus whoever flame-throwing pitcher you want to throw out there, Eric Gagne versus Barry Bonds. It's just one of those matchups that, should it deliver, let's just say it's a 0-0. It'd be very boring for your television audience, but let's just say it's 0-0 going into the 8th inning.
Yeah.
That's must watch baseball. Both pitchers are throwing a no-hitter going into the 9th. It's just one of those games where it could be that, or Hunter has a bad game and Paul Skeens, you can get the Paul Skeens maybe, but I think that's the most important game of the series. But then again, when the series me and you went to, where we had the LA bobblehead day, they I think it was a sweep, right? Didn't we sweep Pittsburgh that series? LA had the grand slam on his bobblehead day.
Yep.
It's anything can happen. And I don't expect Pittsburgh to lay down, but Chicago has to win if they want home field. And they're playing the Mets. The Mets have to win if they want in the playoffs. The Dodgers are playing the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks are only a game back of us. Yeah. So this is going to be one crazy week of baseball, because I'm looking at the schedule for tomorrow. The Padres play the Brewers, and then the Cardinals play the Giants, and then you go to Tuesday, you got the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Then you got, let's see, anything important? The Mets and the Cubs. It's going to be pivotal. And then you go, further into the week, Friday, the Padres play the Diamondbacks. So let's just say the Diamondbacks take 2 out of 3 versus the Dodgers, and then they go and take 2 out of 3 against the Padres. One of those two teams might not even make the playoff. It could be Diamondbacks and Dodgers, and the Padres are out of the playoffs.
Is it that possible? Dang.
Because the Padres are only 5 games ahead of us, and there's 5 games left?
6 games left, yeah.
So technically, if we go on an extreme hot streak, we could leapfrog San Diego.
Yeah, but if San Diego wins 2 games,
They clinch, yeah.
they're in. So they have the least, I guess, path of resistance. They're definitely going to have a better chance. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but the Diamondbacks can play a pivotal role in us too.
Mike's Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers play the Mariners. That's not important. Then the Giants play the Rockies, and the Mets play the Marlins. Final week of the season, or the final weekend.
Really?
Yeah. So it's going to be pivotal. You know, the Brewers are probably going to try to go for 100 wins. You know, they got 95 right now.
That's crazy.
And you know, they want home field. The Phillies are 3 games behind them, so like anything can happen. The Phillies are playing the Twins the final 3 games of the season, so who knows? Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be interesting because I don't feel as nervous because it seems like the Reds really struggle when we go into PNC Park, and then all some weird stuff happens. I think they lost 7-0 there a couple weeks back. I think I feel a lot better. Like you brought up that we swept them at Great American Ballpark. The only game that really is troublesome is Skeens because obviously he's their best pitcher, and these other guys I'm not too familiar with. They're not making me nervous at all. But that doesn't mean that you have to take them for granted. That's something the Reds routinely do to teams that are under 500. So there is a little bit of that kind of for me. We're like, but I don't know. I feel like the way that we've been playing, it doesn't matter anymore. Like we should have any hangups or lulls. Hopefully we can get that out of hopefully we got that out of our system by losing to the A's. And maybe now it's like, because I heard we were talking about, I think on our show, was there like a meeting or behind a players only meeting? It sounded like I think Tito talked to the guys after getting swept by the A's. I don't know if it was like a full on like everyone aired everything out type of meeting, but he like talked to guys after that series. And maybe he said the things, maybe he said the things that ended up getting the guys in the right mindset to go into St. Louis and then back home to sweep the Cubs. I don't know. Like maybe it doesn't matter at this point. They're just all going to take every step and just try to win every single inning, every single pitch, get all 27 outs, and basically try to finish off these teams. This weekend now I'm starting to think about, we were talking about the other series that are occurring and the permutations that could happen with the Padres, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks factoring into it, and the Giants factoring into it by playing the Dodgers. Like now I feel like the series I'm definitely most worried about is the Brewers now. Like, goodness, if they're going to be
in Milwaukee too.
In Milwaukee, I guess the good news is that, you know, Woodruff's hurt, and they possibly may take the foot off the pedal at that point, depending on what the first 3 games of this week go for them. I don't know. They also have an off day on Thursday. We have the off day Monday, so there's also that rest going into Friday's game as we travel from Cincinnati to Milwaukee, and they'll already have a rest day between. I don't know. It could be dicey.
They didn't do us any favors on the scheduling.
No, but I don't know. I kind of like, it's kind of like, like football starting to do that now, where they have the last couple weeks of the season are like divisional opponents because those games matter. Like, I know that we've changed the scheduling in Major League Baseball so much that we're not playing as many division games,
which is nice.
But now they're now of more importance down the stretch, especially down the stretch now with the Red situation and, the Mets and whatnot. So it does stink that the Mets drew to the Marlins, who are definitely going to – they haven't talked about a team. Well, I don't know. The Marlins could surprise. I guess we got to have some sort of faith that they're going to be professionals down there in Miami and maybe not just fold for the New York Mets. But we'll get there at that point. Hopefully these next 3 games we're not going to be, pulling our hair out or having a bunch of anxiety attacks over the fact that, the Pirates – are going to be competitive with us. It'd be nice if we just hit 5 home runs and then get out of there with a sweep and then get on to Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Pirates beat the A's today 11-0.
And the Pirates, I think just in August, they swept the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So, they're not a bad baseball. I mean, they are a bad baseball.
They're a bad team, but they're a lot
But they have the ability of
they're a major league team.
Yeah. So it's like, and I don't know exactly what to to make of. I don't know. The whole scheduling thing is exciting, but like it would be nice to have not finished on the Brewers. Maybe. Well, it's actually worse in 2026. There's that murderer's row of like we go to the Dodgers come here, we play Atlanta, we play the Cubs, we play the Brewers, all in the month of September. So I guess it could be worse. We could have had a bunch of definitely tougher games down the stretch, but we're at this point in the season, you just gotta go for it. What else are you gonna do?
I don't know. It's like if you're not gonna play meaningful baseball, and I don't want to say meaningful baseball. If you can't play with the Pirates in September, then you don't belong in the playoffs. And if you're not gonna play up to the Brewers, which you look at the last series when they were in town, we could have swept that series. Very easily could have swept that series, and we could have easily gotten swept. We finally got that win on Sunday, but it's just I don't know. It's
baseball, man.
It's baseball. That's all you can say. It's just because if you can't compete with the Brewers with your season on the line, then you don't deserve to play against a playoff team with the season on the line. So, yeah.
For sure. Just a quick question Mike put out there about Martinez and a multi-year deal potentially for extending him. I don't know. This is definitely, I think, Martinez's last dance. He got $21 million with the qualifying offer after the 24 season. He's done an admirable job these last, 2-3 years with the Reds. I don't see him extending it. The Reds don't have that kind of money to either afford him, or they probably don't see it as a great investment, being that he's 34 years old, going to be going on 35 in 2026. It seems like this is going to be hopefully Martinez's, a playoff appearance to get us to a playoff appearance at the very least, and be able to end his tenure with the Reds on a good note. There definitely be some teams that will probably have the money to pay, like a Nick Martinez, a Mets team, or a Padres team or something like that. So it definitely, I don't know, it definitely ends up being a situation where you'd like to have this guy, but not at that price.
I don't think he signs for what his qualifying offer was this year. He's going to be 35 next year, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's getting up there, and he's had a down year compared to last year. So if he likes it here, he might come back on like a quote unquote discount, but I think other teams are probably going to overpay for him, and he'll probably go somewhere else. But I do think that there's a chance he could come back on a multi-year deal, just not for more than the qualifying offer. Like, he might get the qualifying offer as a total for like a 3-year deal, or like, let's just say 3 years, 50, that'd be what, 17 a year, give or take. So
there could be this third possibility. He is a Boris client. It could be a Blake Snell situation where he tests the market because the Reds probably don't offer him enough because the Boris will probably turn it down. He tests the market and probably has to take a 1-year deal like Snell did. And then didn't Snell get another extension after that for the San Francisco, right? Is he with San Francisco now? Anyway,
San Diego, I think.
San Diego. Okay, so he had that 1-year deal, I think, with the Dodgers, because he went all the way to the wire of right before the season started, or maybe a couple of weeks into the season, and then signed. And I don't know. It's just Boris stuff. I think the same thing kind of happened to Bellinger a little bit too, right? With the Cubs, he just kind of played it out, and then eventually signed on probably a lot less. So Martinez probably will test the market. It'll be interesting to see if he has any suitors. Maybe not. Pitching, like I said, is always a premium. It's not something you can always find everywhere. But Snell is still with the Dodgers. But I think he got that extension with the Dodgers after maybe the 1 year with the Padres or what have you. So, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Mets definitely have deep pockets. I'm not sure if he means 14 million or just $14.
Hell, I'll give him $14.
I think the Reds could afford him if he can do $14. I don't know.
Martinez, you got Venmo? I'll send you right.
Yeah, I would say all the 3-2-1 Tuesdays can maybe cover that contract coming up. So yeah, I don't know. You got any other thoughts, Ricky? I don't have too much else other than, man, this is going to be an interesting week. We're going to try to go live on Wednesday and hopefully have a positive show that won't be fearing the worst of Paul Skeens throwing some gem against us when we're needing the win.
Yeah, I see you have like minor league MVPs.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
I don't know if you wanted to do that or if we could save that for a Wednesday topic if the game's a bad game, but
yeah, either one. I just threw those out there because the minors are, I think, done after today, right? Louisville's last game
for
today.
the Reds, yeah, because Levi Jordan played all 9 positions today. That was cool. He gets credited with the loss. So,
nice. That's interesting. How long did he pitch? He just pitched like 1 inning.
I think it was just an inning. Yeah, maybe it might have just been an out for all I know. But yeah, that was kind of cool. Just playing all 9 positions. Some people were stating that maybe it was kind of like a goodbye, maybe because he was doing that. I don't know. He's only 29, but maybe he doesn't come back. One of those things, because there's some players coming up, and like they have some decent players, like Francisco Urbaez. Like he hit 315 this year, like quietly, like. And Blake Dunn. I don't know if you've been keeping up with Blake Dunn.
Yeah, you've been telling me about him.
Oh my gosh, man, Blake Dunn. Let me give you some numbers on Blake Dunn. I honestly,
comeback player of the year.
I wouldn't mind seeing him up on the team this final week just to be like a little spark plug. Like, I don't know, because let me give you some numbers on Blake Dunn here.
Okay.
He went 1 for 4 today. His batting average is at 291, had a 798 OPS. For context, he had a 553 OPS for the Reds this year, 60 at-bats. His last, let's see. In May, he got demoted May 10th. He made his Louisville debut for the season on May 10th. And on May 30th, he was batting 140 in AAA.
Ooh.
And then you go to June 7th, or June 8th was the last time he hit 200 in AAA. And he was at 195, 195, 188, 191. He wasn't back up to 200 until July 1st. He was at 202.
Thanks.
So you go from July 1st. In the month of July, he hit 354, 463 on base, 354 slug.
Yeah.
And then you go to August. For the month of August, he hit 358, 430, 506 slug. So he increased the slug by 200 points. And then you go to September, and he hit 309, 427, 544.
Okay, we'll be seeing Blake Dunn in 2026. That's for certain.
He finished the year fantastic. So July 1st, he was batting 202. He finished the season batting 291.
Dang.
He almost flipped the script up to 300. That's incredible.
That is pretty good. That especially because when he was up at the big club, it looked like he couldn't hit for.
He looked bad. He looked bad.
Yeah, I don't know. We can save the minor league MVP stuff for the next show. But Mike did have a question that I thought was interesting about Sal Stu. And I wanted to see what you thought, how many starts he's going to get these last 6 games.
2.
Oh, yeah? I was thinking like half. I was thinking 3. I was thinking maybe he gets 2 out of the 3. I don't think they don't bat him against lefties, right? Like
which is weird because they didn't. Why did they do that with Rhys Hines?
I don't know.
Rhys Hines crushes right-handed pitching.
know,
and you bring him in for lefties, and he sucks. And it's like he doesn't suck, but he's not anywhere near as good versus right-handed pitching as he is. Yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah.
Like Sal Stewart is slashing like 320 versus left-handed pitching at all levels this year.
There's
Is
a
it
lot.
because you just don't want to make Steer mad and be like, "Oh, sorry, Spencer, we don't want to bat you against old right-handed pitching because we know you're better versus lefties, and you're this veteran guy who's somehow earned playing time over a rookie who they're both on the same level of contract." Like, it makes no sense. Like, it'd be different if Spencer Steer was like his final year of arbitration, and he, been there, done that. But he's had a really bad year up until the last month.
He's been pretty steady on the incline of his batting average and slugging and whatnot. It's not been a bad year. It's just the way I was thinking about it too, because I get frustrated with the Spencer Steer talk at times because we lamented all about it that he never went on the IL, even though you could clearly see he was hurt in the first 2 months. But like he had this Iron Man Cal Ripken streak in him that he's like, no, I refuse. And I don't know if that's actually what's happening, if he could actually say, I don't want to go on the IL, or I don't want to get demoted or put down the minors just to like work through his shoulder injury. I mean, he ran into a dang wall and wasn't good for like 12 months. Like, at least injury-wise, he wasn't good for 12 months. But anyway, that's beside it. That's before even Sal Stewart gets on the team. Now that Sal Stewart's on the team, they have this weird, like, I don't know. Again, the all shucks manager Tito can go like, oh, he's all over the place covering the bag, and like I don't see Sal Stewart as like a below average defender. I haven't seen enough data maybe to make that decision, and maybe they see other stuff when they're working him out and practicing and stuff like that. But like you can't not have him in the lineup. Like, I don't know, why not have him in the DH role or whatnot against lefties? You know what I mean? Like, if he mashes them, get him out there. Like, it just seems like a simple baseball logic that maybe there's something else that we're not seeing. Maybe there's something that they're protecting against because they don't want – I don't know. Maybe the more he's out there, the more they'll be able to see where his deficiencies in his swing is. That's the only thing I can really think is they're trying to protect a young guy that isn't as – as a much veteran as Mr. Spencer Steer. But same time, man, you can't lose games just because you don't have enough offense, right? We've been really fortunate, especially 2 games out of the Cubs series where we had enough pitching to win 1-0. And that is usually the other way around for this ball club. We're usually on the other short end of the stick where we don't have enough offense and the other team pitches enough relief pitching or great starting pitching to keep us at bay, and they win that 1-run ball game. So we're really, I think maybe the water's finding its level type of thing where we're now going to start being able to grind out these 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 wins. It might as well do it now. Better now than never, right? But at the same time, you need offense, right? Like you just need it. And this ball club has obviously needed it for a long time, not just this year. 2024, the offense wasn't great. 2023, the offense was kind of out of nowhere, really good. But all those guys that got called up, McLean and Ellie and CES, were just hitting the ball everywhere. Fraley was great in 2023 as well. So it's and then you got Joseph Daniel Votto as well. So like, you know what I mean? That was probably the best Reds offense in the last 3 years. And you'd like to think that we'll have a pretty good offense maybe next year. But you gotta win games now. So put the guy in that's hitting now.
Yeah, I think he'll play 1 game versus the Pirates and 1 game versus the Brewers. That's what I think. I don't want it to be that way. I think that's how it's going to go. And Ellie's shown some improvement. I don't like him permanently hitting 6th, 7th, but I think it's good for him now, where he's actually hitting the ball hard, and it seems like he's running better. So I like it, and I don't know. I hopefully that he's not like how Ellie goes is how the Reds go, in my opinion, as far as like the playoff run. And you want the best version of Ellie going into the playoffs, get the eyes on him, get the eyes on Cincinnati, and maybe we sneak on in,
Shout out Joey Votto.
Shout
Also-
out Joey Votto.
Also, shout out Pack GAB. That's been going around too.
Yes,
Shout out
Gavin
to the
Lux
ballpark.
tweeted it today.
Last home series of the game, or this year. Sorry, the last home series of this year of 2025. Actually, my wife's going to one of the games with her work on Thursday, so she'll be
Nice.
supporting. She'll be packing out the Thursday game, which usually Thursday day games are not very packed anyway. But she'll be hopefully there to bring home a win and hopefully a series win, if not a sweep that day, and then on to Milwaukee again. But yeah, I don't know. You got any other things that you got on these Red Legs on this upcoming week?
No, just gotta keep winning.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a good time to be a Cincinnati Reds fan, especially if the Bengals are going to be dreadful. Hopefully, it'll be a baseball town again and be able to have a home game. How is it best of 3 series for that opening round or best of 5? I can't remember.
I think it's 3. I think it's 3 and then 5, right? Isn't it like 3, 5, and then 7?
Really? Okay. Yeah.
I think.
This is how long it's been for
Yeah, I'm
Reds
not.
fans to know what the baseball playoff format is.
I remember it was a 1-game playoff, right?
Back in the day. Yeah, 2013. We won't talk about it, but yeah, we'll hopefully have maybe one home game out of the 3-game set, and maybe a Hunter Green gem to send all the fans home with. Unless he's going to be, he might be the game 1 starter, so that might not be possible.
Yeah. If the season ended today, it would be the Reds versus the Dodgers, Padres versus the Cubs, Houston versus Detroit, and then the Yankees and Red Sox.
And I want to say it starts. I want to say the NL one will be October 1st. I think it'll be the first game for the NL. I think AL leads off on September 30. When I looked it up before, but I could be wrong. But anyway, point being is, man, we will hopefully see you on Wednesday to either go live alongside the Reds game or break down the Reds game. Hopefully talk about some other topics from the Tuesday game, or maybe scoreboard watching, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be kind of crazy. Oh, yeah, all the games are going to be for the higher seed, Mike says. So actually no home game. I think I remember that now for last year, because it incentivizes those teams to be the higher seed. That's why the Cubs are like freaking out. Speaking of that, shout out to my uncle who was texting me like, "Hey, can you guys stop beating us?" Because he's a Cubs fan. And I'm like, dude, we're fighting for our playoff lives. You think we're just gonna lay down just because? Anyway, the point being is that they're fighting for their probably 3 home games, or 2 out of 3 home games if they do that. So
I'll say this: if we can get past the Dodgers, I like our chances against the Phillies, just because you can't sit that long. You can't. It's like football.
Yeah.
You don't see a whole lot of 1 seeds other than like the Chiefs. Going all the way, just because it's so hard to sit and not have any momentum.
Especially because baseball is not a week-to-week sport. It's
The day-to-day sport,
day.
yeah.
Every day. So when you go 162 playing nearly every day, and then you're going to have a week off, that's like your body goes into like off-season mode. Probably not on purpose. It's just naturally, right? Unless they have some sort of they play against their minor leagues or something just to stay fresh. I don't know what they do exactly or what is allowed for that. But that's kind of crazy that, to play 162 games just to rest. I wonder if they'll revise that and add more playoff teams so that there won't be any more buys potentially. It's kind of counterintuitive, but we'll get there. That's after the expansion and realignment and CBA talks, probably something down the road for that. But hey, man, right now we're in the playoffs, and we're definitely coming to a point where this is where we want to be, right? We want to be right there, right in the middle of it, competitive all the way until the end of September, and then we'll sneak on in.
Sneak on in.
So, all right, Rick, if you don't have anything else, let's sign off. You ready? Go Reds.
Go Reds.